other little young fellas in the temple. He had on a linen ephod. Nobody else had that. His mother had made a Nazarite vow that he would never get his hair cut. So here you have this strange little boy. He's walking around in this attire. And he has long hair. And he's ministering to the Lord. Now the thing that makes him different is that he had this particular piece. It's called the ephod. Nobody else had this. Eli knew that when you put this on, you're more than just a server. See, this means you serve in the church. You do the ushering. You do the singing. You do the work. They didn't have ushers back then. The prophet taught me that. They didn't have nobody else to do all of these duties that we got everybody else to do. Ministers did the work in the church. Now we want to assign it to everybody else. But biblically the concept is ministers worked. They served in the presence of the Lord. So here is, we have little Samuel. Can you put that on for me? We have Samuel, and he has on his linen, his work, and it says it's girded linen ephod. Now we take this and put it here as elders. But biblically, they put this on. And then they took that belt and put it around here. So when he is a child ministering, all the other little fella knows, just like Eli knows, he's in training to be the high priest. Not just any kind of priest. He is going to be the high priest. He's in training to take Eli's place. And Eli knows this. He's smart. He knows he's messed up. Because when you read it, he even tries to get his children to see and repent. And it says they hearken not to him. So when he sees the attire, God tells him to put on little Samuel. He knows that this is not just an ordinary child. That this is going to be the future high priest. So here you have this child in this attire that gives him the identity, that gives him the destiny of who he's supposed to be in the earth. And then the 19th verse says, moreover, on top of all that, that's what that means. In addition to the 18th verse, God had a creative thought. He put in his head, I'm going to create me a high priest. And he manifested that, and he loosed it from heaven through the loins of the daddy, and it sat in the wombs of the mother, and up comes Samuel. And God says, now my creative idea is now in the earth. While God is doing all of this, giving him identity, the word says, moreover, in addition to that, we get a little glimpse now of Hannah. His mother. She's already left him. But it says, in addition to that, she says that the mother made him a little coat. Lord have mercy. And she brought it. Now, theologians kind of wrestle with this because when it says it brought it, meaning she brought the same coat every year. Then others say that she made a coat every year and brought it. But now when you look at it, reading it in the original text, it's that it is highlighted. It didn't say it's in italics. It didn't say that she made another coat year after year. It says it. So here she is bringing another coat year after year, and she brings it, what a coat? She brings it to Samuel. She's coming year after year with a little coat. And she's bringing it to the next priest, to the next prophet. Now, here, why would you bring another coat that your son can't wear? See, you can't put another coat over the attire that God has put on you. See, that's crazy for me to put something streetwear over this attire. Because when God elevated me, this is the attire that I'm supposed to minister to his people in this pulpit. This is the attire. This is the coat. So it's no need of bringing anything else for me to put on while I'm preaching you. So she's bringing this coat for what reason? Is she bringing a coat, and a little coat at that? When he's there, when he was first brought, he was only 2 or 3 years old. So you know he's growing. So why are you bringing the same little coat year after year to your son that's growing? You've given him away. He's growing, but you're bringing the same little coat. See, you have to understand something. When God gives you your identity of who you are, you can expect, the devil is so subtle, you can expect him to try to confuse you and have an identity crisis in your life. Now, you got to remember, he's still growing. But here he is. This coat presents an identity crisis for him. Because when he looks at that coat, he's remembering, this is my son. This is my mama. It's kind of like Hannah was saying, I want everybody to know that my son is not here while we're making his sacrifice. But this represents, I do have a son. So I know he can't be out here while we're making his sacrifice because he's ministering in God's house. But this is a reminder to Fanina, my adversary, I do have a son. See, this coat makes a connection between Samuel and her son. You had to understand, she had to hold on to something, and she wanted Samuel, while he ministering, she wanted Samuel to say, you see that coat? That reminds you, you're my son. It's an attachment between me and you. And Samuel got to look at that coat and say, that's my mama. That coat reminds me that's my mama. See, that produces an identity crisis because the coat is the one thing that connects the son and the mama, but the coat also separates the Samuel, the prophet, and the priest from God. So there is an identity crisis that's going on while he is a child. That's why I have to remind these little prophets around here. I don't care how fast you run ball. Have you all noticed? Have you noticed that those in the prophetic order is the one that's being highlighted in running ball now? They're running with their feet wise, but God's interested in them running in the spirit. So the enemy will bring in a little coat to confuse the identity of who you are. A little coat that will confuse all of your identity.